Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the New Testament and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the book of Revelation, chapter 12. And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. She was pregnant and was crying out in birth pains and the agony of giving birth. And another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, with 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his head 7 diadems. His tail swept down a third of the stars of heaven and cast them to earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she bore her child he might devour it. She gave birth to a male child, one who is to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. But her child was caught up to God and to his throne, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God in which she is to be nourished for 1,260 days. Now war arose in heaven, Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon. And the dragon and his angels fought back, but he was defeated, and there was no longer any place for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. Now I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, Now the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ has come. For the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down, who accuses them day and night before our God. And they have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. For they love not their lives even unto death. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil has come down to you in great wrath, because he knows his time is short. And when the devil saw that he had been thrown down to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. But the woman was given the 2 wings of the great eagle, so that she might fly from the serpent into the wilderness, to the place where she is to be nourished for a time and times and a half a time. The serpent poured water like a river out of his mouth after the woman to sweep her away with a flood. But the earth came to the help of the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed the river that the dragon had poured from his mouth. Then the dragon became furious with the woman and went off to make war with the rest of her offspring, on those who keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus. And he stood on the sand of the sea. One thought. In the previous chapter, we had a symbolic depiction of the church protected, suffering, and then eventually vindicated. And in Revelation 12, we have another symbolic depiction of the same things. And this chapter is like a movie. I mean, we have a woman, and she's about to give birth, and there's this dragon with gaping jaws just ready to devour the child as soon as he's born. But the child and the woman escape, and she flees and flies away on eagle's wings, finds a place of respite, and yet the dragon then vomits out a rushing flood to drown her. But then the earth opens up and swallows that water, and she is preserved. And so the church eventually defeats the dragon. But we see that the church's victory over the dragon occurs in a very strange way. In verse 11, it says, They, meaning those that are believers in Christ, have conquered him, have conquered Satan, by the blood of the Lamb. So, victory in Christ first means forgiveness. Forgiveness is how we defeat the devil, because forgiveness breaks the devil's accusations. He's called the accuser of the brethren, who accuses us before God day and night. And what is he accusing us of? They've messed up. They're sinful. Look, they're breaking your commandments. They're not following you. They're not living for you. But we are forgiven. And that breaks his power. And that is the victory that we have over him. If you are forgiven, then you already, in a sense, have overcome the devil. And then it says, by the word of their testimony. They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And it shows us that your story, that's what testimony means. Your story defeats Satan. Your story of coming to Christ, how he's changed you. You can proclaim how Jesus is worth more to you than anything. And that defeats the devil. It says that their testimony, they're holding on to this gospel, occurred because they loved their lives. They loved not their lives even unto death. And so this is exemplified in us, right? Showing our love for Christ when we love him above all things, even our own lives. So Satan is defeated then through a bold proclamation of the gospel and bold living for Christ, the testimony, holding fast to him. But Satan is not defeated by technology. He's not defeated by social progress. He's not defeated at the ballot box or taking the country back. He's not defeated by anything like that. He's not defeated by force, coercion, or worldly power. The only way that Satan can be overthrown is through the gospel and through living out the gospel in the lives of God's people.